This is Spiral Knights. This is a game made by the same devs that made Puzzle Pirates. I've never played this. I don't know exactly what it is. Character creation so far looks pretty simple. I picked just some presets on a bar to get what we have so far. Now we have little details and accessories. Oh, look at that. I have a little headband. I'm feeling normal or determined, but I feel like all the edgelords are gonna go determined. I guess I'll go determined. I'll be an edgelord. Okay, changing colors, as we can see, freezes the background. Now I'm the devil. Press space to change weapons. I got a sword, which I can hold. Do big attack. I can block. It's weird that to do a heavy attack, I have to first attack, but that's alright. Attacks also move me forward. Mouse wheel works for this as well. I have a gun. I can also hold this. Okay. Neat. Destroy all the small bushes. Small bushes. The ones up north, right? Just want to make sure I don't... Oh, wait, no, there's some down here. Oh! Oh! Dude, I literally never would have thought of that. This kind of, so far, reminds me of like an ARPG, but a little more childlike. And a little less hardcore. Level complete. Oh, shit. So heat is like experience for your weapons and armor. And I guess instead of experience, you just have progression for your weapons and armor. Microtransaction store. Purchase. Okay, so we have loot boxes. Okay. And a battle pack. There's some sales on what literally just looks like cosmetics. Oh no, these have stats. Ugh, that's scary. Oh, but they have stats, but you need to progress to use them, so that's not that bad. It's probably, I assume, of level of everything you would get then. And we get some rewards. A Vita suit. Oh. So my cosmetics only affect my starting armor. So the character creation, I guess, yeah, it only determines your starting armor. New equipment will just change how you look completely except for your eyes. This game feels like it has like a some sort of UI like memory leak or something, because there's like a freeze every time you interact with some sort of menu. Do you take damage? Am I doing anything? What if I charge up my ultimate attack? Oh, now you're weak. Let's go, boy. I think I just successfully blocked something. I don't know. I think I killed it. Alright, I did it. So far I'm having fun. It's a shower button. The whole map is taking a shower. Rank 10 looks like the max rank, and I guess that's where the game ends. That's not a lot of content, but we'll see what it ends up feeling like in the long run. 245 for 750 energy. The max you can buy is 45,000. $100. Ugh. For a game you don't even have new missions to do anymore. Got an interesting mission system. It's a hub-based thing, very clearly. Reminds me a little bit of the games that released after it, like Soul Worker. I feel like some of these images are breaking on the ground. Like, I feel like these PNGs are glitching out. Oh yeah, they're definitely glitching out. Ah! Pain. Yeah, these images on the ground, they totally break. Like, the PNG starts getting attached to something and then moving around. Oh my god! Jesus fucking Christ. What's the, like, charge up? It's green. Damn, dude. Holy shit, my UI is, like, lagging out my game. There's so much crap on it. And you can feel the lag in these areas around all the other players. Holy shit. Oh man, what is this? This is where the fucking life of the game's at right here. Look at all this. Is this the entire player base? It's so sad that the game seems to be so short because there's such a good foundation here for a game. It's a fun game. The progression of this game is kind of odd compared to most other MMOs out there, just because it's based entirely, it seems, around your gear. God, look at that image breaking. Holy shit. And it's attached. Look at the image is breaking and it's attached to my mouse. It's my mouse that this shit gets attached to. Very weird. I've had now 4 people that actively play this and have joined me today to play this with me. My little first noob run. And all of them basically just go, wow, someone's playing this game? I thought this game was just to get a free TF2 hat. People actually play this? I think I know how to play this game. I could tell you joined because the whole game froze for a second when you did. I wonder if this game works on Windows 11. Because you could tell they haven't been updating it. I wonder if it works on Windows 11. One thing I should start asking everyone I see that plays this is what other games do they play? Because I'm curious if this game is mostly played by MMO players, or ARPG players, or some other kind of player altogether. So many ghosts. Oh, and every time like you end a level too, the whole game freezes. The longer I play it, the more there's freezing. It's weird, and I can't tell if that's something that restarting the game would help, because that's what I mean when I say it's a memory leak, or if it's just something that restarting the game won't help in the slightest. You know, as broken as this game might be, I'm willing to bet that this game is more fun than playing New World. Although I'm not going to pay for New World to find out. Boss battle! Okay, I see the mechanic. Ow! Ow! Oh! Ah! That's my fault. I stepped into a root. Stay out of roots. Bong! Bong! I like this music. Yay! Yay! Woo! What the fuck is this thing? Oh my god. Ugh. Oh, frabjous day. What the fuck does that mean? There were sounds of shouting and explosions coming from the lab just now. I think we may be under attack. Better gear up. I have no idea what's going on in there, but we better be prepared for anything. Chaos! Slaughter! I didn't expect this to be an actual combat mission. You know, this is single player, and this is still just as laggy as when I had 4 players. It's just the same 3 enemies over and over again. Come on. You made your point. Big attack. Do something different. I feel like I'm just supposed to die or something. That's really what it feels like, because they're not dropping items or health, but I'm slowly taking damage. This feels like a mission where they just want me to die. What are these Guardian Knights doing? Like, you gonna help now? I'm not even supposed to be killing these, that's why. I'm supposed to be running through the area. All the hot singles in your area want to meet you if you buy these floating citrines, which is some sort of cash shop item. Along with winning all your free iPad. Limited time deal. Make the wish. I need a hot single lesbian. What the fuck does that mean? Vile. Oh god, he's throwing buildings or something. Game seems fun. Oh yeah, it is. It's a little laggy. For some reason. A little freezy at times. But... Oh, okay, the perspective just changed. This is some, like, nearly endgame fucking boss right here. Take my 11 damage. Jesus. It's so laggy. Why is it so laggy? It's been freezing and lagging for me all day, but it's getting worse over time. Like, throughout that whole thing, anytime anything popped, it was freezing non-stop. Yeah, most of my lag at the start of the day was just coming from the menu. Just the menu, quote unquote. But now it's just expanded into the gameplay. So that was a recap of my first impressions playing Spiral Knights over the first day I got to play it. Thanks to the help of a couple of players of the game that came to my stream and joined me in game and helped me out, I got to see quite a bit. I got to progress a bit further maybe than I should have, and I got to drop in and see one of the very popular late game bosses of the game. And so I have established a pros and cons list I'd like to share with you of Spiral Knights, at least my first impressions of it. The first pro is going to be the combat system. It's simplistic, meaning it's very easy to learn and get into, yet it's engaging. It's action RPG-ish style. Means that you have to pay attention to where you are, where you're going, traps on the ground, your abilities, which weapon you're using. So there's a good amount of capability for skill, yet even if you're completely unskilled, at least for the first half of the game, you can still get through everything pretty well. Come to the later half of the game though, you need a bit more skill, and yet things are still highly based around stats and the progression of your gear. And I think this makes it pretty accessible, and given the kind of game it is, I think that's a great thing. Pro number 2 is going to be the graphics. These don't stand out. This game released in 2009. So I can't say, oh my god, these graphics are amazing, but they're cute, they're stylistic, and I like them. The characters all look pretty nice, even though it's so simplistic. Pretty much anything should be able to run this, especially older computers, I feel like wouldn't have much of a problem running it, so that's definitely a pro. The next pro is going to be the music. The music in this game is pretty good. It has its own style. It's not like any generic MMO. Nothing about this game is like any generic MMO, but whether you're in a peaceful area or you're in a boss fight, there's always a well-crafted musical piece to accompany you and really get you into it and make it memorable even more so. The next pro is going to be the pet system in the game. I like the pet system, and that's a very specific thing to make into a pro, but it's actually a pretty big part of the game. The pet system determines your combat skills, your permanent combat skills. There's items you can pick up as well or buy ahead of time, but the pet determines your skills, like shooting a fireball, going invisible, laying a trap. Now there's a bunch of these pets, and you can level them up alongside you and your gear, meaning it fits right in with the progression system of the game. It gives you something good to work for. Progress your pet, you progress yourself, that is separate to your gear, and has a more unique system in that you can feed your pet to give it experience, and there's certain collectible items you need in order to get it past certain experience walls. The final pro is the way the multiplayer system works. I think it works very well for a hub-based game like this. It's not quite as strict as Guild Wars, make a group in a hub and then leave and then you're on your own. Nor like Soul Workers, make a group in a hub but there's a party finder, etc. But in this one, instead, it's you can just start a party whenever you want to go do a mission. Only when doing a mission, mind you, as far as I'm aware. And then anyone that you allow, be it public or private, can drop in, drop out. You can set it to invite only, but they can join at any point in the mission. Except don't join when you're going down the elevator into the mission, because that can cause crashing or repeated loading screens, which is kind of weird. And the difficulty dynamically scales to the players present in a very good way. Like, this is better than Monster Hunter World. In Monster Hunter World, you go into a mission with more than just yourself, and the game is now scaled to 4 players, whether you have 4 players or not, which is annoying. And then if there's a network DC, which there's plenty of in Monster Hunter World, it stays scaled to 4, and then you're just stuck fighting content scaled to 4 players by yourself. Well, this has no problem like that. The network seems to be consistent, and if someone leaves, and you had 4 players, now it's 3, someone else leaves, now it's 2, someone else joins, now it's 3, everyone leaves, and now you're back down to a solo difficulty. It's actually really cool, and it makes the game scale in a believable way no matter how many players you bring with you, unlike something like Borderlands, where if you bring a full party, everything can one-shot you because it pretends that your health has scaled up so much, but it hasn't. You've just added more players. the difficulty scaling is good, and I wanted to make a point of this. Now for the cons, and I want to start with the biggest, worst con from the get-go, and that is the performance of the game. And now this seemed to be pretty variable. I heard many different versions of how this game performs from everyone I played with that day. I played with about half a dozen-ish other players. Most of them said the game just lags a lot for them. And I can definitely see that, because in my experience, whereas I didn't have like a bunch of lag, I called it lag, the game mostly had stuttering and freezing for me. It had a whole lot of freezing. No one else really told me they had freezing. They said lag, but they may just have been using the wrong word for all I know. And one person had crashing so bad he could only join me for one mission because he kept crashing while loading into missions. He was crashing just while trying to start up the game. Almost everybody, only one person did not have these issues. And that one person had graphics on complete minimum, basically running in compatibility mode. For pretty much everyone I encountered, the game seemed to run like crap. And there was one downside to the network, whereas it's stable in that it doesn't crash, the network seems to have rubber banding issues. I think the amount of money they poured into maintaining their servers are pretty bad, and apparently their whole server maintenance cycle takes 1 minute, so that's probably not very conducive to keeping a healthy server environment going on. The game is just not maintained. It's clearly on its death cycle. It's on life support. Which leads me to the next con, which is the content. And now this is two little cons combined into one. The first little one under this is just there's not a lot of content in the game. Honestly, in one day of play, casual play, reading everything and taking your time, you can get through half the game, quite frankly. Maybe 2 days, you'll be done with it. If you know what you're doing anyway, I've been told by the veteran players that you can beat the entire game in 5 hours. That's insane. And the other little con is that the story is minimal. It's bare bones compared to most MMOs. And I love reading stories in RPGs and MMORPGs, both. I'm not the average, oh, who reads stories in games WoW player who then complains that the story sucks because they didn't read it. I'm not one of those hypocrites. I love stories. I read every piece of quest text that I am given in basically every MMORPG, and I can say without a doubt that this story is minimal. It's barely present. It's there just to premise a mission. 4.5 hours into the game or whatever, they decided to give me dialogue teaching me about a couple of the characters, and I found that really weird. They haven't introduced any characters to me before then. They've been like, hey, look, this is where you buy stuff, this is where you sell stuff. They never told me about any other characters. I found that weird. And then I found out why, because these characters get referenced for the rest of the game, although the stories of the games are literally just read thing before you go into mission, and that's it. And that's where the references happen too. It's bare bones, it's minimal, and they made a DLC to add more missions. Not an expansion, a DLC, already weird for an MMO. The weirder thing is, it's only one mission, and it costs $6. $6 for one mission. That's weird. And based on what I've been told, the game's development has basically ceased. They haven't made new content, really, for half a decade from what I've been told. And apparently the performance was a lot better half a decade ago as well. So it just seems like the game is decaying. And it's not just decaying on the technical side of things. The player base is decaying as well. There's almost nobody playing this game. I showed the auction house in this video, and that is the biggest chunk of players I saw, and based on what I saw in the chat, these were the same players that were on all day, every day. There wasn't like new players, different players cycling in and out. These players just know life this game and they stay there forever, and they are the entire player base. I asked, is this the entire player base in my stream and in this video as a joke, but looking at the activity throughout the entire day, I think I was right. This game also has bugs, a lot of bugs, especially graphical bugs. Images especially break. Pretty much everything you run into in the world, every graphical effect, every item is a JPG or PNG, something like that. Something really low effort, really easy to run. And when you're running around, it can just break, and then the image kind of resets, and then it's a floating transparent PNG that moves with your camera or your mouse or whatever direction you're facing, or even if anyone else is running around it. It's really ugly to look at, it's really confusing, and you never really know what you're going to pick up as a result. And the worst part is it can break while you are using or holding an item, because to use an item, you have to pick it up and hold it above your head. That's if you're transporting a key to go open a gate. That's if you're pulling out a vial that you're going to throw that's going to explode. You can literally hold it and it will break just as quickly as you pulled it out of your bag or picked it up off the ground. And then you'll be seeing this floating PNG spinning around like crazy, hundreds of them even, while you're getting ready to throw something. It's very disorienting, it's very broken. I feel like it could be fixed really easily, but seeing as this game seems to just be played by the same no-lifers the entire time, I don't think they're going to fix it, because I don't think this player base has a problem with it. Because every time I saw this and was like, whoa, that's really jarring, and I had a normal reaction to it, even the least diehard fans, like just the ones that were like, oh, I haven't played this in 10 years, but I'm going to try it again just to play with you, and they were real nice, to the most extreme, I play this every day kind of player, they all told me the same thing. They didn't say, oh, yeah, I know, that sucks, right? Oh, man, I wish they would fix that. No, what they told me was, well, it's made in Java. That's it. Can't fix it, can't change it, it's made in Java. To all of them, I said the same thing. Well, what about RuneScape? RuneScape is made in Java. RuneScape doesn't have these issues. RuneScape runs, honestly, like a charm, even to this day. The response I usually got was, well, I haven't played RuneScape. So we have a complacent player base and bugs that are very complacent to stay put, because it makes no financial sense for these developers to go ahead and fix these problems. So this is actually a pretty big con, because I don't think this one's ever going away. The next con is the character creator. The character creator is... it's alright, honestly. I wanted to put it on the pros, but there's one big glaring problem with it, and that's that it doesn't matter. It does not matter, because your character is just a couple of presets which can be changed with cash shop stuff. Like anything cosmetic can be purchased on the cash shop, but also most of it is actually decided by your gear. And the moment you get your next piece of gear in the game, all the cosmetics on your beginning armor is kind of worthless. It doesn't matter anymore. And then if you want to have cosmetics, you have to go farm and earn them in other ways, buy them with real money. You can use your starter armor as a cosmetic set, which overrides the set you're actually wearing, but do you want to be wearing starter armor the entire time? There's a whole system for cosmetics in this game, and it's just weird to me that the character creation is something that is so temporary that you will essentially out-level and lose your character creation and look completely different, and then more just like everybody else, 10 minutes into the game. What's the point of having the character creator then? You might as well just allow us to change things on the fly, but then they couldn't sell us cosmetics. Which brings me to the last con, the cash shop. The cash shop in this game is extreme. You can buy anything in here. You can buy premium currency, which is used to upgrade items. Like, it's a vital part of upgrading your items at higher levels, albeit you can earn this currency with in-game currency with a in-game marketplace, but that brings in a new problem. You can buy this premium currency to get in-game currency, which is the definition of paying to win in a game. If that wasn't enough, you can also buy gear for your level and for levels above your level that you can equip later. The 4-year level gear seems to be about with everything else you can earn at your level, but you can get it on the cash shop before then. The beyond your level stuff, which is usually on sale, is pretty OP for when you get it. Can you get better stuff? Probably, but it stands out. It's optional. You can grind around it, but they offer it. But it doesn't just end with some glaring pay-to-win stuff. They have loot boxes for you to waste endless amounts of money on. That's what gambling is, right? You should never, ever commend loot boxes in a game. They have cosmetics, which isn't necessarily a terrible thing. It's probably one of the more benign ways to do a cash shop. However, you got to remember, every cosmetic that goes in the cash shop is a cosmetic that they want you to pay for, that they didn't put in the game for you to earn. Remember back in the day when all cosmetics were earned, and when you saw someone with a cosmetic, you knew they had to do some epic quest in order to get it, and it was really exciting when you got it and you got to show it off. Now it's just, oh, how'd you get that awesome looking cosmetic that's better than everything else that's in the game that I can earn? Oh, I paid $5. Wow. Wow, that's not as epic anymore, is it? So, that's there as well. Usually, cash shops are made better by the fact that you pick your poison, right? This has every cash shop poison there is. There's even a bunch of other game-altering stuff in there, but I think I've made my point on how bad the cash shop is. And there we have it. There's our pros and our cons. It's a bit of a mixed bag of a game, quite honestly. For most of the day, I really liked the game, and towards the end of the day, I found the performance issues were pretty bad. So would I recommend this to a new player that has never played it, that wants to maybe try it? No, I wouldn't. Maybe if you have a really old system that can maybe get past some of the performance issues, but everything else aside, I feel like the game is too broken of a state. It only seems to work for 1 in every dozenth person, and that's if a very small demographic sample that I'm working with to make that statement. Fans of the game, 1 in every dozenth, seems to actually be able to make the game work in some way that you can stand to play through. I was told by many players that the later levels are just unplayable. They get so laggy. So no, I would not recommend this game because it's broken. It's broken, and I don't think the devs are going to fix it because they're getting their money. They don't have to do any work to get it. They're not fixing anything. They're not keeping it up to date with new systems. By the time you get a chance to play it, it will likely be even more broken than it is right now when I'm recording this. It's a shame. I wish I could have played this game in its prime, but thank you guys very much for watching this video. I hope that I have helped you in some way. I hope that this video has at least been entertaining to you. Big shout out to my supporters over on Patreon, Gilded, and even here, the YouTube channel members, for making this content and this channel possible. You can join them with the links in the description below as well. For now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.